Just my imagination. Just my imagination. It's just my imagination.
This is horrible.
Snake, the lab where Sokolov is being held is to the north of that forest. Keep on heading north.
You got some instant noodles, huh?
Instant noodles?
Uh-huh. It was invented in Japan just recently. Add some hot water and it's ready to eat. It's cheap and can be stored for a long time. And besides, it's delicious. It's like a miracle food.
Wow.
Speaking of which...
Yeah?
Are you going to eat that?
I was planning on it, yeah.
Oh, all right.
Is there some reason I shouldn't?
No, that's not what I meant.
Then what did you mean?
I was just going to say that if you weren't going to eat it, you should bring it back to me. I've always wanted to try some.
Whatever.
There seem to be traps planted throughout that area, and they look a little primitive.
Yeah, but this is their territory. Why would they need this many traps here?
Maybe it's part of some kind of tactical research.
Tactical research?
Yeah. As I'm sure you know, the Soviet Union is leading a worldwide revolution among communist forces all over the globe. But a lot of the countries involved don't have the necessary funds and industrial technology, so they need tactics that are both effective and economical.
That's what they're researching?
Yeah, and traps are one of the best ways to do that. I'll bet that place is one of their testing grounds. Clappers, arrows, pendulums, all of these traps are set off by applying force to a rope. Don't touch the ropes and you'll be fine. Use rolling to get over them, or just crawl under them. Either way ought to work. If you do set off a trap and an arrow or a spiked pendulum comes flying your way, you can still dodge it by immediately diving out of the way. Pit traps and snares are camouflaged into the ground to make them harder to detect. But if you look carefully enough, you can see them through the disguise. Try stalking to proceed with extra caution. In any case, if you think there might be traps lying around, keep a close eye on the ground and stay alert.
Snake, have you been caught in a snare trap?
Yeah,
If you don't get down from there soon, the enemy might spot you.
I know that.
Then why don't you get yourself down?
How am I supposed to do that?
It should be obvious. If you get caught in a snare trap, press the action button. That will allow you to cut the rope. Hurry and free yourself before the enemy comes around. Sokolov is inside the lab. Look for a way in and use it to infiltrate the lab.
Imagination. Just my imagination.
I see you're disguised as a scientist. It suits you rather nicely. As long as you don't do anything suspicious like roll or crawl, the enemy should have no reason to suspect you. Sokolov is somewhere inside that lab. Find out where he is and make contact with him. If you want to know where Sokolov is, why don't you ask one of the people around there?
I see you've caught yourself an arowana. The arowana is an ancient fish that lives in tropical freshwater areas. Because of its large size, I don't think you'll be able to capture one alive. Ancient fish like the arowana are living fossils. They've hardly changed their form since the Devonian and Jurassic periods. Other ancient fish besides the arowana include the coelacanth, the starlet, and the knifefish. Almost all organisms on Earth have evolved in various shapes and forms, but these fish have kept the same form for hundreds of millions of years. Baffling, isn't it?
Sure.
Well, I can see you're not interested.
Not at all. I love ancient fish.
Why?
They taste pretty good.
So you're wearing the scientist uniform. Wearing that scientist outfit lets you pose as a scientist. But be forewarned, you can't equip most of your weapons while you're disguised as a scientist. Even when you're disguised, your cover will be blown if you get blood on your clothes or something. If you do get blood on your clothes, take them off and switch to another outfit. The bloodstain should come out after a little while.
If you're looking for Sokolov, he's not here anymore. Put that thing away, you'll spoil my drink. So, you're the intruder everyone's talking about. Typical capitalist dog. No manners.
And who are you?
You mean you've never heard of me? And you call yourself an agent? Very well, then. I am Alexander Leonovich Granin. A man of some importance, if I do say so myself. I am the foremost weapons scientist in the Soviet Union, and the head of the glorious Granin Design Bureau. This is the Order of Lenin. It is an honor of the greatest magnitude, given along with the title of Hero of Socialism to only the finest workers. It was awarded to me in recognition of my brilliant contributions to society. Since the Great Patriotic War, I have created countless weapons in the service of our great communist society. It was thanks to me that we were able to stamp out the Nazi scum. It was I who created the basic design for the mobile ballistic missile system you know and fear as SS-1C.
You're crocked, aren't you?
I'm merely drowning my sorrow. Because of him, I've got nothing to do but sit here and drink this crap.
Him?
Sokolov. It's him you're looking for, isn't it? Because of him, I have been stripped of my authority. My research has come to nothing. Look. It is a revolutionary mobile nuclear missile system. A bipedal tank.
A bipedal tank?
Yes, a walking tank. A robot. Are you familiar with the theory of the missing link between apes and humans? Well, this technology will be the missing link between infantry and artillery. A kind of Metal Gear, if you will. And this magnificent Metal Gear will mark a revolutionary step forward in weapons development.
Metal Gear?
But I won't be used so easily. No crying myself to sleep. For you see, I'm going to send these documents to my friend in the United States.
What?
These bastards will live to regret this. And when they themselves become the targets of my creation, they will know my true greatness. Yes, Sokolov's pathetic shagohod pales in comparison to my work. What are you going to do with a rocket engine on a tank?
About Sokolov.
A tank does not need a rocket. It needs something else. Look at these.
Nice shoes.
No. Legs. Legs that allow it to go anywhere. Just as when humans learn to walk upright. That is the real revolution in weaponry. Don't you agree? But the fool's in charge. Joe Sokolov.
And where is Sokolov?
My project has been terminated. The philosopher's legacy has been handed over to him.
What the hell are you talking about?
The philosopher's legacy. Haven't you heard of the philosophers? The Colonel has inherited their immense legacy. Volgin's father was in charge of the philosophers' money laundering activities. In the confusion of the war, they somehow ended up with their treasure. And Volgin inherited that treasure illegally. We never need to worry about the military budget. The development costs at our facility are all paid out of the Colonel's deep pockets. The weapons born here will be the genes for creating an entirely new form of warfare. The funding for my research came out of that legacy. Came out of it. Now, my money, my men, all have been diverted to the Shagohod project. Tomorrow they will be conducting the final test, while Sokolov is making the final preparations in the weapons factory at Volgin's main base, the great fortress of Graniny Grad. Here I am, playing host to an enemy spy and drinking myself into a stupor.
That's where they moved Sokolov?
Yes.
And the Shagohod is there too?
Of course. Hey! You're not thinking of going to Graniny Grad. Are you mad? It's an impenetrable fortress.
I'm sure it is.
You'll be killed.
I'll take my chances.
Wait.
What?
Listen to me, you fool. I want to help you.
Help me?
To thank you for your compliment.
What compliment?
My shoes. Tatiana gave them to me. I wanted to thank you for complimenting me on them. I'll tell you how to get into the fortress. In return, I ask only that you get that idiot out of there and destroy the Shagohod. There is an underground tunnel that runs around the perimeter of the fortress. You should be able to use it to sneak into the base. Head for the mountains. The entrance to the tunnel is located there. Take this. You passed through a warehouse on your way here, didn't you?
Yeah.
There should have been a locked door inside of it. Do you remember it? This key will open that door. Beyond that door lies a vast jungle. You can climb up into the mountains from the far end of the jungle. Go back to the warehouse. Use the key to open the locked door and head for the mountains. Got it?
Why are you helping me?
Unlike Sokolov, the thought of defecting has never once crossed my mind. I love my country. I love this land. I cannot even imagine living anywhere else. I wish to remain a hero of the great motherland. I cannot bear the thought of being hounded into a corner and left to waste away. It is already dawn. You must hurry. I will remain here and nurse my troubles for a little longer. To capitalism!
Major, Sokolov's already been moved to the fortress.
But that's only what Granin told you, right? He may have been giving you false info.
No, he wasn't lying.
How can you be so sure?
Gut feeling.
Good enough for me. According to Granin, you should be able to get to the mountains through a passage located deep in the jungle beyond the warehouse.
Right. Then if I climb the mountains, there'll be an underground tunnel leading to Groznygrad near the summit.
Start out by going back to the warehouse. Use the key you got from Granin to open the door and proceed into the jungle. You remember where the door is, don't you? It's directly north of the door you went in when you came from the aqueduct.
Second, Granin said something about putting legs on a tank. Do you know what he was talking about?
If you ask me, it's gotta be a joke. Not only is making a tank walk on two legs a technical nightmare, but there's no point in making a walking tank to begin with. Putting legs on a tank would raise its clearance, increasing its frontal projection area. It'd also be less stable. Suppose the legs help the tank travel on bad roads. I don't see the logic in that. Isn't that what treads are for? I mean, anybody who'd seriously consider making a thing like that has got to be a wacko. Come to think of it, there was a guy in the States who wrote a paper on that subject. What was his name? Emerson? Heinrich? Something like that. I don't really remember. Of course, no one took that seriously.
I see you caught yourself a Japanese flying squirrel. Japanese flying squirrels are non-venomous, and they shouldn't attack you. The head, front legs, hind legs, and tail of the Japanese flying squirrel are connected by a membrane of skin, which allows the squirrel to glide from tree to tree. It says here that if it catches a good wind, it can fly more than 100 yards.
Yeah, I had a hard time catching one.
So, aren't you going to ask me?
You know it. How does it taste?
Not sure.
Not sure.
The guy doesn't say anything about it.
Why not?
Gee, maybe it's because no one would ever think of eating a flying squirrel.
Then I must be the first one.
Maybe you are. Saving the game, Snake? Hey, Snake, have you ever seen Forbidden Planet?
No, can't say I have.
It's about this expedition that goes to the planet Altair 4 in an ultra-fast spaceship. When they arrive, they meet the survivor of the last expedition, Dr. Morbius. Dr. Morbius was exploring the planet along with his daughter Altera and the versatile Robbie the robot. Ignoring the doctor's warnings, the expedition team is suddenly attacked by an invisible creature called the Monster from the Id. The special effects they used for the science stuff were really neat. I wish I had a robot like Robbie that could make anything I wanted it to.
I'm more interested in that invisible monster. If I were invisible, I wouldn't have to bother hiding or wearing camouflage.
Maybe someday you'll be able to turn invisible.
Yeah, that'll be the day.
Get out of here!
so great.
Just my imagination. Just my imagination. Just my imagination.
the fear. That bolt is coated in the venom of the Brazilian wandering spider. Soon a most exquisite pain will engulf your entire body. Your limbs will be paralyzed, your lungs cease to draw breath. Eventually your heart will stop beating. But what fun would that be? Not a fitting end at all. The boss's apprentice. I will give you fear such as you've never experienced before. Come into my web. It is time for you to feel the fear.
Snake, are you all right?
You've been shot with a poison bolt. The poison is spreading throughout your body. Your life is going to keep decreasing unless you do something about it. Hurry and neutralize the poison. Go into the survival viewer and use Cure to give yourself a serum injection. The serum will neutralize the poison, but don't forget to treat the bolt wound itself as well. To treat a bolt wound, you'll need your knife, a styptic, and a disinfectant. Use your knife to dig out the bolt, and then apply styptic and disinfectant to the wound. Follow those steps and the wound should heal right up. Now start the treatment. Hurry! To treat a bolt wound, you'll need your knife, a styptic, and a disinfectant. Use your knife to dig out the bolt, and then apply styptic and disinfectant to the wound. Follow those steps and the wound should heal right up. Now start the treatment. Hurry!
Snake, the fear is supposed to be wearing some kind of stealth camo. I don't know how it works exactly, but it seems to refract the light around it somehow to hide the person who's wearing it. This is the best camouflage I've ever seen. It's going to be tough to figure out where he is. But that doesn't mean he doesn't have a weak point. Apparently, wearing stealth camo really drains your stamina. When he's out of stamina, the camo will stop working. Don't miss your opportunity.
Another one! Dodge this! Poison! Damn! The fear! The fear! I see it! The fear!
According to Granin, you should be able to get to the mountains through a passage located deep in the jungle beyond the warehouse. Start out by going back to the warehouse. Use the key you got from Granin to open the door and proceed into the jungle. You remember where the door is, don't you? It's directly north of the door you went in when you came from the aqueduct.
I see you've caught a vampire bat. The vampire bat bites its victims and sucks their blood.
Got it.
Speaking of bats...
Just save it.
Huh?
I know you're going to talk about vampire movies, Attack of the Vampire Donuts, or Dracula versus the Space Hippos, or something like that.
Actually, I was going to say that bats are known to use supersonic waves to sense their surroundings.
Oh.
Bats use supersonic waves to sense their surroundings, so you might be able to keep them away by blasting them with a special kind of sound wave. Alternatively, you could try equipping a torch and waving it around with the CQC button. As for taste, I suppose there's no reason you couldn't eat them. Snake, do you hate vampire movies?
What?
Just now, you sounded like you really hated them.
I did?
Yeah,
Oh. Well, no one really likes them, do they?
some people do.
Like you.
Yeah, they're fascinating, you know? Like the movie Dracula...
Don't say it.
Why not?
Just don't.
Are you afraid?
What?
You're afraid of vampires, aren't you?
Don't be ridiculous.
But...
Listen, there are no such things as vampires. They're just a stupid, made-up legend. Even if they do seem real sometimes.
well, sure.
You think I'd be afraid of something like that?
No.
Exactly.
Right.
I'm not afraid of vampires.
Uh-huh.
It's just that whenever somebody starts talking about vampires, I end up dreaming about them that night, and I don't need that right now. That's all.
Okay.
Pit traps and snares are camouflaged into the ground to make them harder to detect. But if you look carefully enough, you can see them through the disguise. Try stalking to proceed with extra caution. In any case, if you think there might be traps lying around, keep a close eye on the ground and stay alert.
I'm gonna puke. I want some more.
You want to save? Snake, have you seen Earth versus the Spider?
Nope.
It's about this spider that suddenly mutates into a giant monster. They bring it into the city in a state of hibernation, but it wakes up and starts wrecking the place.
So why did the spider turn huge?
I told you, it suddenly mutated.
Yeah, right.
Snake, it's people like you that take all the fun out of watching movies. Always nitpicking and taking things too seriously. Honestly, why even bother? Look, the important thing isn't that it got big.
Then what is important?
The fact that there's a huge spider destroying the city. Suspend your disbelief. That's the whole point of movies.
Pretty tasty.
Snake, are you there?
Eva, where are you?
In the fortress, in Groznygrad. Dr. Sokolov is here too.
Is he all right?
He's fine. Right now he's busy putting the finishing touches on the Shagohod.
Good. That means they haven't killed him.
Not yet anyway, but you better hurry. They've already finished the Phase 2 tests. Once the final preparations are complete, they'll have no more use for him. The Colonel won't have any qualms about killing him if he thinks the CIA is closing in.
Eva, you can't let Sokolov out of your sight.
I know. Snake, do you know where Grozny Grad is?
Granin told me that I should be able to get there from the mountains to the north, through an underground tunnel.
Granin told you?
Yeah, he even gave me the key to the warehouse.
Why?
Because he was drunk, I guess.
You've got to be kidding me.
Hell if I know.
Snake, there's one problem with that route.
What problem?
The mountain entrance to the underground tunnel that leads to the fortress is sealed. You need a key to get in.
A key? What about the key Granin gave me?
That key won't work. But don't worry, I'll figure something out. I have an idea. There are some ruins at the top of the mountains. Meet me there.
The top of the mountains. Got it.
Wait, there's something else I've got to tell you.
Now what?
I heard that one of the Cobras is waiting for you in the jungle at the foot of the mountains. He's a legendary sniper called The End.
Yeah, I've seen him before. That ridiculously old guy, right?
Don't underestimate him. He's known as the father of modern sniping.
Is he alone? No spotter?
None. He's all by himself. Apparently, he doesn't need a spotter.
You can't be serious.
The entire forest is on his side.
The forest?
Stay alert.
Yeah, I'd hate to have it be the end for me.
Snake, have you been contacted by Eva?
Yeah, she said we'd meet up in the ruins at the top of the mountains. She also said she picked up the key to get into the tunnel that leads to Groznygrad.
Good. Hurry to the rendezvous with Eva. Head for the mountains. Proceed north through the woods. There's an entrance to a mine shaft at the far northeast corner. Climb up the shaft and you'll come out in the mountains. Head north.
I'm on it.
But stay on your toes. Isn't the Cobra Unit sniper lying in wait for you?
Yeah, the end. But there's no other way.
Watch yourself. Your opponent is a legendary sniper. Your fight with the End will likely be a long and grueling one. You should stock up on battle necessities like ammunition and provisions now, while you still can.
I see you've caught yourself a big-eyed trevally. The big-eyed trevally is a type of mackerel. The adult fish lives around coral reefs, but the young can be found in freshwater areas such as estuaries and rivers.
Good to know. So, how do they taste?
The guidebook doesn't say.
Huh. Well, if they're a kind of mackerel, they should be okay to eat, right?
You'd think so, but...
But what?
Well, I've heard stories about people getting ciguatera poisoning after eating the adult fish.
Ciguatera poisoning?
Uh-huh. Fishes that live near coral reefs are sometimes contaminated with a poison known as ciguatera toxin. It apparently gives you food poisoning when you eat it.
So I can't eat those big-eyed trevally?
I don't know whether those trevally are contaminated with ciguatera or not, but use caution just in case.
The name of that forest is Sviato Gorny. In Russian, it means something like the sacred mountain path. The name comes from an old folk tale about mountain spirits who passed through there on their way to Sokrovieno, the forest to the north. Head north and you'll come to Sokrovieno. The tunnel that leads to the mountains is in the northern area of Sokrovieno. I'll meet you in the ruins at the top of the mountains. I'll give you the key to the tunnel leading to Groznygrad when you get there. Remember, go north. But Sokrovieno is also where...
I know. The end, right?
Yeah. One of the Cobras, the End, is waiting for you in Sokrovieno. He's a legendary sniper. Until you defeat him in battle...
I won't be able to move on.
Right.
Then I'll just have to beat him.
I guess you will.
Second, Granin was saying that Sokolov's research project was a tank fitted with rockets.
Uh-huh.
Do you have any idea what he meant?
Sorry, beats me. I wonder if it's supposed to increase the tank's mobility, or maybe give the tank short-range missile launching capability. But you're sure it has something to do with Phase 2 of the Shagohod, right?
Yeah.
Khrushchev traded Cuba just to get this thing finished. And Volgin blew up a Soviet research facility to get his hands on it. Whatever it is, it's gotta be big.
You want to save? Hold on a sec. Snake, have you ever seen On the Beach?
No, I don't know it.
It's about the survivors of the Third World War. The entire Northern Hemisphere is obliterated in a nuclear holocaust, and it's only a matter of time before the few survivors left in the Southern Hemisphere are poisoned by the deadly fallout. Their only hope is an American nuclear submarine that escapes to the Southern Hemisphere. They set out for the Arctic to investigate the fallout. The movie came out in '59, and the year that the war was supposed to happen was 1964. In other words, this year.
Nice warning. Let's hope it stays just a movie.